Well, I froze. Let's try this again. Let me go back over here. I froze, okay? So, I got I did some Guadalupe River shoots. And I used a Plena 135 millimeter. And I like the focal length of getting the whole body shots, and I was farther away from the subject. Now, I was kind of like behind the scenes. I wasn't the main photographer or whatever. I'm just learning to see what they're doing, okay? But I like the look. So, I also like the 100 millimeter. I love the 85 millimeter, but I also like the 100 millimeter. And over here, if you look over the product review table, these are all 100 millimeters except for the Nikon, which is a 105, but they're all macro also. So they're all, I think, f2.8. But I'm trying to decide if I really need a 135, just to leave it for the Nikon and don't worry for the Canon or even the Sony, as a matter, because the Sony is just basically for street photography and maybe some portraits now and then. But I do have some long zooms. The reason why I haven't gotten the 135 for those systems is I have the 100 and 400s for the Canon, the Sony, well, for all the camera systems, okay? So that covers everything. Yes, it's not like a 1.8 or a 2.8 or whatever, but still, it's good. Anyway, I want to show you some pictures that I've taken out of these three cameras. I did not include the Sony because I don't have the 100 millimeter equivalent, or the 90 millimeter, I should say. But I do have an adapter for F-mount to go on Sony, but still, and I got 135 millimeter, okay, but it's on the DSLR. But these pictures are basically for the 100 millimeter, okay? So let's go over here to, let's see if this is working. Yes, it is. Okay. And I think I'm just going to do, I'll talk about it. Hopefully this works. Let's hoping the screen will change. It is. Very good. So the first ones are the Canon R5II. Okay. Nighttime. The lenses that I was using, the 100 millimeter f2.8 is excellent. I mean, you can get closer to macro than I can with the Nikon, okay? But the Nikon looks pretty darn sharp at 105. So, anyway, did some shots of the moon when it was a full moon. Outside, I was just testing out the lens to see how it would go. And even at nighttime, you can see the temperature was like 81 degrees. The light, different objects inside the house. You've probably seen this hundreds of times. This is the PC I put in, but those two monitors are for the M4 Pro Mac Mini, as you can see to the left hand side. But I wanted a game in there, so I took it out of the living room. So you see, it's a hit and miss with 100 millimeter. Sometimes when I'm inside with the RF, it just takes a little bit longer to focus. So I might have a setting on for like reduced noise. I should turn that off. But at nighttime, look at the lens. Look how sharp it is. Why would you need a 135? if the 100 millimeter is good, and it's kind of like in between the 85 and maybe a little stretch to 135, it's not bad. Okay, so I did some more moon shots, but I believe this is through a different camera. No, this is still the R5 II. So I get some close-ups to the plant. These are berries. There's no flowers on here, and they will turn purple. But I see ants and stuff on there. These flowers are blue, but in the afternoon they close up. The yellow flowers are starting to show. And here's the macro shot, getting closer. And then kind of close. So you see, and then look at the bokeh. So, you know, I like the 100 millimeter equivalent. I wasn't really that much in the 135 because if you're in a tight space, even 100 is bad. Even an 85, depending on how big the room is. But anyhow, look at the lighting. And this is a different camera right here. So look at the sharpness. And I got kind of like a weed or something growing in that plant. I'm going to have to remove it. There's the kids' swing tree house. And by the way, this is still the Canon R5 II. But look how sharp it is. And by the way, this is an EF lens. This is 100 millimeter f2. Not the macro, the f2. But look how sharp it is on the cat. And on the light bulbs in the back. Now I'm inside, I'm using a different camera. This is the S1R2. And they have 100 millimeter macro also. So as you can see, very sharp. You have to be a little bit farther away. But just by pointing, look at the bokeh. She is about maybe 6 inches from the Eiffel Tower. And just from pointing one to the other, you could see what happened. The other part was blown out. So I think the 100 millimeter is an excellent lens on any camera. So you see I did the light bulb this time instead of the picture in the background. And then of course these are the LED lights with the F-class for Nikon. There's the computer again. That's a RTX 4090 with the Ryzen 7 AMD 7800X3D. So you see, each lens for each camera, and the 100 millimeter for the S1R2 is the smallest. But you see, you can get in macro shots also. And my cat was moving at that time. Either that or my finger. So I did miss a little bit. The S1R2 is the slowest because it's not a stack sensor. But look at that. Look at the macros. I got really close to these. And this is a Panasonic. Okay. So this is a 44.3 megapixel the R5 II, and then you'll see the Z8 or 45. Just taking pictures inside. This is the Z8 with a 105 macro. Everything is sharp. So the first part is kind of like a JPEG. The second part is RAW. And I wanted to show that feature also. For YouTube, I usually put it in JPEG. For other people, I put it in JPEG because it's easier to read on their computers than RAW. But I wanted to show you the difference. I can put the Canon RAW on here, but then I might have to use a different program. And you see, Z8 did a good job. I like the 105 macro. And this is the cantaloupe growing. And it won't get very far because they're going to mow the ditch shortly. So you see, this is kind of like, if I was at the 135, I would have to back up. Now I'm at 100 millimeters. Now I cleaned out the bird bath. Got a close-up of it. And yes, there is water in there. It was full this morning. It's been close to 100 degrees. And you can see how much water evaporates. But this is the problem I'm seeing. The one thing that disturbed me out of all these pictures, and I got macros of these snails, they're climbing my house. They're getting out of the yard and they're climbing up on the walls. And they're everywhere. They're on the fence, all around the house. I have to go by every other day just to knock them down. Look at that. It's like an army. And it has been raining. So I don't know what the deal is. But look at that. It's like an invasion. But you can see the bokeh also. I think I was trying to focus on the snails, but it wasn't working out. On a straight ahead shot, yes. Okay. So let me go over here. Show you the lenses and the cameras. Okay. Well, I take this off. Close that down. And go back here. All right. Z8 with the 105. The Canon R5 II with the 100. And then, of course, the S1R2 with the 100. This is a 100 millimeter EF lens. Okay. And I took it with the R5 II. It's a little bit bigger than the Lumix, but you see what I like about Lumix? Look how small it is. Okay, it has a fan built in. It's not as fast as the Canon or the Z8. Okay, you can get 70 shots, but then the buffer fills up real quick. All right, I think Z8 is pretty good. The R5 II. Doesn't have that good, but you can see that the 100 millimeter is excellent. Do I really need 135 millimeter? So it's a question I'm putting up to you, is that the pictures were good enough. I think the lenses are good enough. I like the small size of Panasonic. So if they can do it, these other manufacturers can do it. But they go for the quality. And of course they got more robust cameras too. S1R2 is no slouch, and it has a fan built into it. This one, if you get the right battery adapter. It has a fan in that, but there's vents in here which can push the hot air out. One thing I learned for overheating is instead of using the CF Express card, use the SD card instead. Or if you have an attachment for external devices, use the SD externally, and that might be cooler. But in this heat right now, it's already over 100 degrees for the past couple of days. It's hot here, okay? So I have to be mindful when I'm shooting, like early in the day or at nighttime, okay? From 2 o'clock to about 7, forget about it. You can shoot photographs, but if you're going to do any video work, it's going to be short and sweet. Maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes before they start overheating. And that's on any camera. So what do you think? I think the 100 millimeters are fine for now. I've used the Plena, but you can get a little bit closer with the 100 millimeter. And I don't know if they're weather sealed or whatever. I'll have to look that up. I think Canon is. I think the Nikon is because of the S lens. I don't know about the Panasonic. And on the EF, I don't know about it. But you see, that's not a macro lens, but it's 100 millimeter. And I just wanted to show you that even an old lens looks sharp. And I bet if I show the Canon pictures again, you would know which one is which. Okay? Both sharp lenses, one can do a macro. So, anyway, thank you for watching. Remember, stay safe, keep smiling, and I'll see you next time. Bye, folks. Have a wonderful day.